I'd like to continue the conversation about Kelly Thomas now, a California man who was homeless and schizophrenic who was allegedly beaten to death by 6 Fullerton police officers. Now I want to bring in City Councilman Pat McKinley. Councilman, thank you for coming on the show. I'm sure that you heard our interview there with Tony Bushala. He's trying to get you and others recalled from the City Council because you're not demanding that this security camera tape of the beating and eventual death of Kelly Thomas that exists be released to the public. What is your response to that?
Well, thank you for the question. Number one, it can't be released if we want to do a complete and thorough investigation. Those of us that have been in police work, myself all my life, realize that witnesses' statements oftentimes become tainted, not necessarily because they want them to, but their memories become foggy if they have seen a tape of the incident. If they claim to have seen the incident, if they have some information for us, it's extremely important that there not be something that would taint their memory or change what they would testify to.
Tony Bushala specifically said that the city and the police don't want to show that tape because they don't want the public to see 6 officers beating this man who was tied up on the ground, face down in the cement. So you're saying that that's not why?
Oh, no, it's certainly not. In matter of fact, the City Council doesn't have any authority to release this tape. The tape is with the District Attorney's Office and with the Department of Justice. I'm sure they also have the tape. And they're reviewing it and they're making some of their investigative findings off of the tape. Now, the District Attorney has said, and I'm quoting, I think, District Attorney Rukakis properly, that once the investigation is completed, then he will release the tape. The District Attorney will release the tape. The city won't do it.
Have you seen the tape yourself?
No.
No. Why, can you tell me another point that came up in this previous interview, why did the city wait 30 days to put these officers on administrative leave?
The city doesn't do that. That's a call of the chief of police. Now, I was...
Why the wait?
The prior... I'm not certain of that. The question would have to be posed to the department and the chief of police. I would guess they didn't realize the gravity of the situation, and they put the I know one officer was suspended immediately. The others were put on some kind of a desk duty until they could determine the gravity. And once I'm assuming now that once the chief of police determined the gravity of the situation, then he put all of the officers on administrative leave. You must remember that they're getting paid at this time, too, so there is a cost factor involved.
In determining the gravity, though, I have to ask, what gravity is there to determine when you look at the before and after photos of this man? Seems to me certainly clear at least what happened there. But if you were, given all your years on the Fullerton police force, if that was you, would you have waited 30 days to look at the gravity of the situation?
No.
What do you think should happen to these 6 officers?
Well, they should receive due process. Don't leap to conclusions. Number one, the coroner cannot determine the cause of death, as I understand it. Now, I've heard the district attorney say that they cannot determine the cause of death. So, and I can tell you this, I've had my eyes bloused a few times myself. Facial injuries are not life-threatening. Now, if there was other blows someplace else, that could be life-threatening. But so the pictures are tragic and look awful, but they would heal. The cause of death is yet to be determined.
Let me ask you, because you're in a unique position, not only are you a city council member, but you are the former Fullerton police chief. When you hear a blow to a head with a flashlight, walk us through just briefly here. Is that standard behavior for the Fullerton Police Department? I mean, they have to draw the line somewhere.
Certainly not. No blows to the head are taught or encouraged, or even oftentimes discipline is a result. Now, when you said flashlight, I think that's a leap of faith. I don't think there's a flashlight involved here. I'm guessing, but I think it's the handle of a taser.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but still, that can't be included in standard behavior or standard department rules. Am I correct? No matter what it was.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. As a matter of fact, when I was chief of police, we followed my old department, Los Angeles Police Department's lead in reducing the size of flashlights. We used to have those, which were good. They were big, but we reduced those and we used a much smaller flashlight. Because what happens oftentimes is somebody's in a fight and they have something in their hand. They're probably going to use it. And so we try to minimize the impact weapon.
Do you know any of the officers involved?
Oh, I'm certain I do. I probably hired them all.
You've hired them all, you think?
Oh, probably.
How do you feel then, considering that officers that you hired might have been involved in this, appear to have been involved in this?
Well, I'm going to guess now. I'm going to guess that there may be two that are deeply involved. The others, I don't think the investigation will show had any culpability. When people say there were 6 people beating on one guy, you can't get 6 people around one guy. You start hitting each other. So witnesses' statements are often very flamboyant, very exaggerated. And that's why an investigation, a complete investigation, a thorough investigation is so extremely necessary.
Pat McKinley, council member there in Fullerton, California, and former police chief in Fullerton. We certainly appreciate your time and your response to our questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And